heck? There you go. Got no volume? Are you new? Cold in here now. It's never easy. It's always cold, 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 or hot, hot, hot. Alright guys, we are here to answer all your questions and change your lives. Send you down the path of home ownership. So, you guys know the routine. Fill up that chat box with all your questions, comments, concerns about buying a house, whatever that may be. April, how you doing, April? Looks like we're going to be in touch here soon with you, April.
Pull the rates.
What we're going to do is we're going to answer all your questions about what's the market doing, what are interest rates, what program can I get, what's the down payment, what credit score do I need, can my mom be my co-signer, can I buy a house with my business partner, can I buy a 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, can I buy an investment property, is it a good time to buy? My uncle who bought a house once in 1976 said don't buy. So all those things that you guys have floating around in your brain, go like this, let them come out of here, but do it right here in the chat box, and we will address every single one of them.
That was very detailed. Like, go like this, let it come out of here, and then...
Hey, maybe they have me on mute. Now they see me do this, and they're like, oh, got it.
Well, sometimes we're on mute. We
That's
don't
called sign language.
Okay, you're signing? All
yeah.
right, that's okay.
And then we're going to have a guest today from Little Chris. Hey, guys! So, there's that.
Oh, I got weird, man. I can go so many routes with that. I'm not going to, though. We're going to talk about the market is starting to heat up. We are getting so many applications. It's insane. Like, ridiculous amount of applications. Insane. We have, like, Chris and I both have a load of files, and then all of a sudden I'm getting a call and a call and a call and a call. So it's the same thing we've always done. If you're like legit and you want to buy a house, we have a team of 5 loan officers underneath us. We will get you serviced. If you're really, really serious and you want to move like right now, Chris and I will grab your file. We'll make it work. We got some in escrow. I got one going in today. He's got one a couple days ago. He just locked the loan. There's a lot going on. It's a good time because as soon as the rates start affecting the market, you're going to have a lot of competition. A lot of competition is going to mean prices go up. What do we got?
Well, J6 53.58 PMI on that deal we talked about yesterday, 280K, PP 5.875, rate 3% down.
Okay, so JSSL, I remember it. JSSLK, let me give you the reality of what this is, okay? What the reality, it's not bad. Not bad. You did do a home ready or a home possible because those are the only two with 3% down. Now, if you went FHA, FHA would require a 0.55 MI. You're telling me you got 0.58 MI, which just math tells me you're probably between a 680
home
and
possible.
740. Yeah, 680 and 740 FICO score, somewhere in that range. So you're not in that horrible category. If you were 620, it would not be a good deal. If you're 680 or 783, I priced one 0.19 MI probably 2 weeks ago. 0.19. So that 0.58, that to me that's a little bit high, but if you're already in, you're already in. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not super great with the 783 FICO. If that's your mid FICO, the loan officer, in this part you probably don't even know about, is the loan officer can actually shop that rate. When we go to shop MI, you're not closed yet. No shit. Oh, dude, send me a locked LE. I bet I could beat that. 822, do we have time? Oh yeah, we have 20. We have time. Send me a locked LE. I'll give you an honest. I'll run the full thing, put it together. I can probably beat, and it's the MI, because let me give you what it is. So, Ashley, can you assume a VA if you're not a veteran? So let me finish with this guy because I'm just jumping ahead of myself. So MI can go very, very low, and like I said, I priced 0.19 in the 800s, and that's a great MI. FHA is 0.55. So technically, if you went FHA, you would have less MI. However, there's one thing in there that's UFMIP. So UFMIP on FHA, that's upfront mortgage insurance premium, which is 1.75%, makes the FHA kind of not the best deal to go with because there's an extra charge always on all FHA loans. The only time it doesn't exist is if you refi within a certain period, they get to credit some of the UFMIP for the new loan. But am I Chris or am I Lee? I'm Lee. That's Chris. So we have the ability, if you've got a great deal, we'll tell you. If you don't, we'll tell you. If you're locked, and then how much did it cost you to get that 5.875? That's the next question. So 5.875. That's a good rate. It is a good rate, especially on a conventional loan. That's a good rate, not the great rate. In fact, rates have gone up today, just like I predicted. Yesterday we were quoting 5.25. Today when I pulled the rates, they're 5.375. I believe the market was going to correct. I know what's happening. So anyway, Ashley Heckleton, can you assume a VA loan if you are not a veteran? Technically, by the numbers, yes, but you screw over the veteran, kind of. What does that mean? Okay, so there's eligibility and entitlement. So you can only buy a loan, a VA loan, if you have entitlement. And once you've used it, you've used it. The only way to get it back is pay off that VA loan. So if another veteran can assume an entitlement if they've got a free entitlement. So if you walked into and assume a VA loan, first question is, are you a veteran? And if you are, good, then you're going to have to substitute your entitlement for the veterans. But if you're a non-veteran, then sometimes the bank, because remember, the VA doesn't give you the loan. The VA insures the loan. The bank gives you the loan. So you've got the investor, which is the bank, and the servicer, who is the person who's servicing the loan. You pay the monthly payment to, they make money for doing it. So there is the insurer, which is the VA, the bank, which gave you the loan, which is the investor, and then you've got the servicer as the person collecting it. They're all different. Your servicer can change from time to time to time to time. So if you wanted to assume a VA loan, most want a veteran to assume for a veteran. Most. But there's no guideline that says you can't do it. But you did take away that veteran's ability to buy another house. And if you foreclose, if you do not pay it, the VA will insure it. And they will charge that veteran. So I don't recommend it ever for any veteran. I'm like, hey, no. Very, very, very rare circumstances, like 1 out of 1,000, should you give up your entitlement to the person assuming the loan. 1 out of 1,000. Most of them you want to substitute the loan. So yeah.
Karina, how you doing? Is it just me or how's this going down? It's going to depend on where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll tell you right now that we opened escrow yesterday on a file. And this one actually went in over asking, okay? So across the nation, I would say no, but you have these tiny little pocket communities where stuff is kind of slow and it's not so hot and people aren't buying like crazy. Houses on the market 30, 60, 90 days. 90 days is a long time, guys.
Orlando, Florida, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, in those cases, like Florida and Texas have areas where it's
they're going down.
But I wouldn't use it as a rule of thumb across the nation. Across the nation, it's heating up, guys. It's getting real hot, and the competition is going to start flooding in. J6 said 8,900 total closing costs.
So 8,900 might be good. It might be bad. It depends on where you're at, and it depends on the amount of impounds needed, because 8,900 in total closing costs should include your property impounds. Property impounds can get very expensive, very expensive.
Yep.
The question is, how much did you pay to buy down the rate? That's the big one. So if you had to pay to buy down the rate to 5.875, that needs to be factored in. And there isn't a possibility on a conventional loan that you did not impound your property taxes, in which case your 8,900 is a false positive and it looks better. So there's a lot of moving parts here. With a locked LE, I will be able to actually give you a full assessment. So just send us a locked LE and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, 280 grand. J6, where do you live? What city and state? Wiseman 95. Why hasn't my file been assigned to a loan processor after 3 days of being pre-approved?
That's cute. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, Wiseman, I'm going to hit you with some pretty ugly data here. If you're pre-approved and you're not in escrow, no processor's going to touch your file. Nobody wants to. Yeah, nothing to do. If you have a good loan officer, your file is likely good unless there's something he did not know about. What does that mean? Well, sometimes, more often than I like to say, I'll be like, hey, are you married? Nah, not married. Okay, cool. Not married. Just move forward. We get into escrow and I'm like, hey, who is Jane Doe? Oh, we were married about 15 years ago, but I haven't talked to her in 10 years. Okay, did you get legally divorced? I haven't talked to her in 10 years. I didn't ask you that question. I asked if you got legally divorced. Heck, Lee, we don't even live the same lives anymore. I don't know. I'm like, if you don't know, I'm going to say the odds are probably you did not and you are still married. So, do you have a good relationship with Jane Doe? I don't know. I haven't talked to her in 10 years. You're going to have to talk to her. So that has happened like a lot. Like not a little bit. A strange a lot. Yeah. So if your loan officer did a good job, there's no reason for a processor to touch it until you open escrow. If you open escrow, then the loan officer should tighten up that file really quickly. What does tighten up the file mean? Now that we have a property address, I have to pull tax roll. I have to see what the tax roll is on that property. I have to actually shop insurance for that property because every property's homeowner's insurance is going to be different. Now, once I have those things, I tighten it up. Then I have to do a current VOE, verification of employment. I have to see that you're still making the money. Everything is still good. Then I tighten that loan up, and then I submit it to processing. At that point, it goes to a processor.
William Burns, can my partner's trust fund offset the student loan debt I have?
Nope. I mean,
Well,
the only
they
way
can
you
pay
can,
for it.
yeah, they can pay for it. They can write a check, and it's good to go. But you're an asset that is not your asset against the liability that is your liability. That's not going to work.
TikToker, rates need to go down 20% in order for home prices to come down.
That's not going to happen.
People need to stop buying for home prices to come down. It's supply and demand, guys.
Home prices are not going to come down.
Once the people stop buying, the demand goes down, prices go down. But here's the problem that you guys don't see. No. You know how many people are trying to buy houses right now?
He's actually right. It took me a second, but he's actually right. Rates need to go to 20%, not down or up, to 20%. They are currently at 5.375. If they went to 20%, you're right, nobody would buy a house.
Where is to 20%? Rates need to go to 20%. Oh!
Yeah.
Interest rate.
Technically, yeah.
20%.
So, by the words,
TikToker.
by the line,
My bad.
TikToker, if it goes to 20%, you're right,
bad.
prices will come down.
Dude, you want to
Took
fight?
me a second,
No,
man.
I
Yeah.
don't wanna fight.
Dude,
I'm just telling you the
I know, I
facts, that's all.
misread it too. I was
Dude,
like,
back off, TikToker.
Relax,
I got
dude.
you, man. I got you, man. This guy
Appreciate
gets
you,
hot
yeah.
for no
All right,
reason.
yeah, yeah.
No reason.
Dude. Hold me
Karina.
back. Hold me back. Dude, you better hold me back. I'm going to get beat up.
Karina's in San Diego, California, man.
I'm not going to get beat up.
I love San Diego. Love San Diego. ADA transportation. Can I refinance with my late payment history? No. Okay, here's one that I'm dealing with right now. Okay? This person had a late last month. Wasn't even a mortgage late. It was just a late. She went from a 700 to like a 609 credit score.
Wow.
609.
Dude, that's
Still in qualifying range.
damn.
Cannot get an approval.
Yeah.
Cannot get an approval. So lates, they're hitting lates really hard in the algorithm, guys. So I recommend keep up on your mortgage payments. Keep up on your credit card payments. If you can do anything, don't be late on anything. Even if it's so tight in your life because inflation is so high and gas is expensive, make those payments on time and you will get paid in dividends because you'll get approved on a home because of it.
Yeah.
Deluxe Cornbread. What's up, man? How you doing? I talked to him yesterday.
Deluxe cornbread?
Yeah, he called me.
Damn, you famous.
Yo,
famous.
what's up, Chris and Lee? I'm learning a lot.
What's up, Deluxe Cornbread? We're here for you.
This guy's got big plans, man.
Is he a loan
I'm
officer?
super happy for him.
Loan officer?
No, just a hardworking dude buying a lot of land.
Appreciate it,
A
man.
lot of land.
Love that.
This guy is the next, what's the guy from Yellowstone's name? Dutton. This guy's the
Yeah,
next John
the next
Dutton.
Dutton. Damn.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
User 2854. Will rates go down?
Well, it depends. It's all relative. If you would ask me that yesterday, I would have said, no, I think they're going to go up. And today, I would have been right. Because yesterday, we were quoting 5.25%. Today, if you went to the New American Funding website, you would see 5.375. 5.375. We did correct, just like I thought, because it was an anomaly of a dip. We locked some loans during that time. We got really, really good situation for those people that we locked the loans on. We don't know what's going to happen again, but we know that we want to keep all the files tight. If you're like, hey, one of these days I'm going to get in shape so that if somebody ever comes up and, attacks my family, I can protect them. No. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's the rule. Stay ready. So if you're trying to buy a house, we want you qualified all the time. Even if it takes 6 months for you to get the house, we want you ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah. What's up, Rick? What's up, Realtor Justin? How you guys doing? J6 said that she lives in Salisbury, North Carolina, 35 minutes out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's worth $360, but the seller's in pre-foreclosure.
So, can you define to me what pre-foreclosure is?
It means not foreclosed. It's probably 3 months in.
Yeah,
Notice
so
of default.
if you're an NOD, is that what you're calling pre-foreclosure? Because here's how it works across the country. If you're like, hey, Mr. Bank, I'd like to buy this house. They're like, cool, here's a whole bunch of money. Your payment is $3,000 a month. All right, cool. You make 2 years of payments, and then all of a sudden you miss the payment. And the bank's like, hey, we can't do that. We need you to make a payment. You're like, okay, I'll try. Then you miss another payment. We can't do that. Okay, so you have 2 lates, but nobody really knows except the credit company and the bank. So then the third late. After the third late, the bank can file what's called a notice of default. This person has not made payments in 3 months. They are defaulting on the loan. That's not foreclosure yet. The next step is going to be, hey, you have been filed a notice of default, and the bank is going to enter foreclosure proceedings. What that means is the bank's going to say, hey, you didn't pay me for too damn long. I hate to do this, but I got to take that house back. Then, once the paperwork is filed, they are in foreclosure. But that doesn't change the market value of the house. If that house was $500,000 before it went into foreclosure, it is still worth $500,000. And because we have a clean, healthy market, it will get $500,000 on the market. There's a little tiny room for variance because the bank doesn't want to pay bullshit fees. They're like, hey, I don't want to negotiate $5 grand, $10 grand, one or the other. I want this off my books. I am not in the business of foreclosing houses. I am in the business of lending loans.
It's a whole lot of words. What's your point?
Okay.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
There we go. Jay Siska, my LO said because my DTI is more than 45%, what's my PMI? Why is my PMI high?
That's why my PMI is high. My LO said my DTI is more than 45%. That's why my PMI is high. Yeah, that's a factor. I mean, yeah. Like if you're happy with it, if you want to make a case and you're happy with that deal, go with it, man. Absolutely. Make sure it's locked. I hope you get your house. If you're trying to find out if there could be a better deal out, I put it out there, man. I'll shop it for you. I'll put the file together real quick, and I'll let you know whether or not it's a good. It sounds like a decent deal. Not perfect, but decent.
Can you buy with no down payment on a 500 loan? Bless Mimi. Thank you for joining.
Now, I'm going to assume 500 is 500,000 and not a category or a $500.
Like the Indy 500?
Yeah, like the Indy 500. So can you buy with no down payment on a $500,000 loan? In certain cities, yes. In certain cities, yes. The reason I say that is because if I was going to do a down payment assistance program, which is zero down, if you're a veteran, yes, absolutely. If you're doing USDA, yes, absolutely. If you're trying to do FHA or Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, I have to use a down payment assistance program. And at $500,000, you're going to exceed county loan limits in 98% of the counties across the country. There's a few that you're not going to exceed it in, like Los Angeles, Orange County, Miami, New York, Chicago, the big metropolitan areas. The county loan limit is going to go up to 584, somewhere in that range, 580,000, somewhere in that range. So with that, I could put a down payment assistance program on top of that and get into it. But you better have everything else dialed. Really good credit, really good income, both of those.
Yeah, Wiseman. Okay, here's the data. This is the data we need, Wiseman.
Okay.
120K, score of 620, applying for an FHA loan, have a home and already signed the contract. Not in processing yet. It's been 3 days. So here's the question, Wiseman.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Have you signed initial disclosures? Have you ordered the appraisal? Has those milestones happened? Because if those milestones haven't happened, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You should have already done all that.
Yeah.
And the processor, okay, depending on how long ago you were pre-approved. So here's the different stages, guys. You got pre-qualified, which means a loan officer did their due diligence, and if they're good, you're fine. And then there's pre-approved, which means the officer did their due diligence and then sent it through underwriting, and the underwriting said, of course, loan officer, it's approved. And you went through all the milestones already. So maybe, depending on how your bank operates, you're in an okay spot. But maybe if you haven't at least gotten those initial disclosures, you could be behind the 8 ball. You could be literally running out of time and not meet your contract date. As a matter of fact, we were talking about this yesterday. In Texas, depending on the states you live in, they're all a little different. In Texas, what happens if you don't hit your contract date?
Well, first off, you have a option date, an option time period, and they're serious about that option time period. Like the initial one's maybe 5 days, and you got 5. If you don't meet that option time period, boom, you're back out. You're out of escrow, back out of the market. No contract, no nothing. In California, it's a little different. There's like 30 days, and they have a little leeway. But in Texas, no, done. You're out. And if you want to extend that a day, you got to part with big money every single day. Yep. $300 to $500 a day in most of the files I've seen.
Yep. So Wiseman, your concern is valid. So give us a little more data though. Have you signed disclosures? Have you ordered the appraisal? Like, has that stuff happened?
Damn, that's a lot. Oh, wait a minute, 2,000.
JSIS?
Yeah. Oh, it's 2,716. How many points? I need to know points because everything's relative. You're telling me 2,000. I thought it was. But getting $1,000 lender credit, yeah, okay. So 2,716 to buy down the points. That's relative. If I think your loan was $300,000 or something like that. 1%. So about 1%. And then if the lender's giving you 1,000, so I need to know points because I would be looking at points, and because it's not just dollars in this situation, it is going to be points. Again, if you're happy with it, man, I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Blessed Mimi, 700 credit score, 125 yearly, $100,000 in current debt. What do I qualify for? $100,000 in debt? What is that debt? Is that student loans? Is that credit cards? Is that car payments? Like, what is that debt?
OnlyFans?
Is that debt?
I think so.
Well, it depends on what side of the site you're on.
Yeah, that's the side.
Could be profit.
Could be profit. Yeah. Well, in a perfect world, I don't know how that $100,000 debt is hitting you on a monthly basis, but in a perfect world, you're probably cracking $550 to $600 with today's rates, maybe $620. So $550 and above, somewhere in that range. Rates are really good right now. They went up since yesterday. They did go up. I think they're going to go up another 25 basis points because I don't think we're in a stable market. We're still rebounding from an anomaly. And if you want to know what happened on the anomaly, ask me. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you'll spend all day talking about it. All day.
All dandy.
Puka 0018. All right. Is the real question mark is how to remove my ex from the loan without a refi?
Puka.
The real question.
The real question is, well, first off, when you and your ex bought that house, you both said, hey, we're going to enter into a legally binding contract. Not like marriage. Marriage is until you're dead. But this is for 30 years. Cool. We're in a legally binding contract. We both own this house. We will both make the payments. You were big-time adults. You stood in front of an underwriter. You said, hey, here's all my finances. Here's all my income. Here's what I got. And y'all stood in front of it like adults. Now, if you want to remove your ex like adults, you have to both go, hey, Mr. Bank, we don't want to do this the way it is anymore. So, here's what I can do, Puka. You say, Puka, Mr. Bank, I would like to refinance this loan, and my partner says it's okay because I'm giving him his equity in order to do it. And the bank says, cool, let me see your income. Let me see your assets. Let's see if you qualify on your own. If you don't, you're still in that legally binding contract, whether you like him or not. That was not a requirement. The bank does not say, hey, do y'all like each other? Oh, good. Because if you don't like each other, then we're going to ignore the legally binding contract. So that's one way. There's another way. The other way is you say, hey, Mr. Bank, Mr. Servicer, and Mr. Investor, we both got into this contract. I would like to assume it myself, and I have blessings from my ex. The ex will get on the phone and tell you they have that I have blessings. And the bank will say, okay, cool. We're not going to do a refinance. We're going to let you assume this loan, but we're going to check your income to make sure you can qualify all by yourself, your assets and your credit to make sure you can qualify all by yourself. And if you do indeed qualify all by yourself, then we're going to call the other borrower, your ex, and we're going to say, hey, we need you to know you are no longer going to have any part of this loan or property we need you to sign a whole bunch of documents saying that you no longer have part of this loan or this property. And if y'all are adults and you're able to do that, great. Those are the two ways out.
There you go. HDZZJ. What are the cash out refi rates?
What is your FICO score?
Jennifer, what is your income? What if your income is on the low side? How do you get a loan?
Jennifer, hate to say this, but it would be irresponsible for the banks and for the loan officers to put you into a loan that you cannot afford. So, if your income is too much on the low side, the answer is you can't. You can't.
And what is the low side?
Yeah, what is the low side? Because when I think low side, I'm thinking $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year.
Donald Trump, a couple million a year is on the low side.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's, if you were like, hey, I make good living, you're
perspective,
like,
guys.
Yeah, it's all perspective, and it depends on where you live. Like if you're like, hey, I make $100,000, sounds amazing. And you're like, cool. Where do you live? I'll be like, Los Angeles.
You broke.
You're broke, man.
You're a brokey.
$100,000 in Los Angeles, you can't afford a house. You are $100,000 in Los Angeles is $20,000 in Arkansas. That it's relative. It's all relative.
Jennifer, oh no, Chicano bad boy. Chicano bad boy.
Orale,
How you doing?
Orale.
What's up, man?
Hello, gentlemen. Okay, good.
He called you a gentleman.
Yeah, gentleman. Dude, I'm a G.
He lied to the
I'm
public.
a G.
He lied.
I'm a G.
Jennifer, low income, good credit. All right, what's that income?
Credit's good. Credit good is nice. That's a really, really, really good start. But every loan is based off income. Yeah.
Okay. Big major Washington State here. My FICO is 581.
Oh, you could stop right now.
A year. I want to buy a 4-acre property for $150,000.
So your 581 FICO, big Mac-ger, hurts you so bad. It hurts you so bad. You know how bad? So bad. Here's why. Because you're going into a bank and you're saying, hey, you know what? I'd like to buy me a new house, Mr. Bank. And the bank says, well, how do we know you'll pay you back? You'll pay us back. And you say, trust me, bro. I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. Okay, cool. So we pull credit. Once we pull credit, we go, hey, it looks like a whole bunch of people in your past have lent you money and you did not pay them back the way you agreed. That is why you have a 581 FICO. How are you going to look at them and say, hey, I'll pay you back, but you didn't pay him back, and then look at me and say, I'll pay you back, but you don't pay me back? That 581 FICO hurts you a lot, not a little bit. Now, I know by the numbers, FHA starts at 580. By the numbers. But I can tell you in practice, in practicality, if you've got a 581 FICO in this environment, very, very, very tough to get a loan. Very tough to get a loan. Your 100K, that's great. That's a great income. It really is. You should use some of that income to go after fixing that credit score, because that is going to get you that house.
And then how did you get that 581? Let's talk about that a little bit, okay? So you make $100,000 a year, good income. Let's say you have 4 $1,000 credit cards, and let's say all 4 of those are maxed. That's a way to get a 580 FICO score.
You think I'll get a 580?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think you need late. No, I think you need late.
Now it's the next step.
Yeah,
okay?
you need late.
So if you got lates, is that how you got the 581? Because if you got lates, we're probably going to need to help you with the credit. Probably going to need to send you to credit repair. But if it's because you have max credit cards, it's because you have old history. Let's say a couple years ago you had problems financially, and then those problems are a couple years behind you, and that's why you have a 581. So if you have a 581 the bad way, yeah, difficult. If you have a 581 because your finances aren't, necessarily in order, like max credit cards, there's a possibility, because with the $100,000 income on a $150,000 property, that's a low debt to income ratio, and that's a low risk. So I would say, let's take a look at your file, Big Mac. Maybe there's a shot. AZ 100. How much income do I need for a $600,000 house in New York or New Jersey?
In New York, New
That's
Jersey,
a modest house in New York.
that's a modest house. That's like a, that's a very,
New
that's
Jersey,
a deal.
You might be able to get a mansion, depending on what part of New Jersey.
Depending on what part of New Jersey. Some nice parts of New Jersey, man.
Very nice.
So 120 to 130, somewhere in that range, as long as you have no back end debt. No back end debt.
There you go. Chicano Bad Boys. He Roman Reigns, the Wiseman. That's WWE, I think.
Is that me or you?
Oh no, he's talking about Wiseman, the guy up top.
Oh, okay.
Matt said no debt.
No debt. That's a good start, Matt. That's a good start. Yeah, that's good.
No appraisal yet, just based on how much my mortgage.
Was that the guy with a 581 FICO?
Yeah.
Okay,
Also,
so if you
DTI
have
is
no debt,
23.
that means you didn't pay people back on time.
You have bad credit.
Yeah, you have bad credit, and the way you get good credit is you have to go to somebody and say, "Hey, can y'all lend me some money?" and then pay back on time.
Oh wait, no, Wiseman and
Dude, are you
Big
mixing
Mac
up people up? Dude, are you
Wiseman's
fucking-
different.
dude.
Wiseman's different.
All right.
Wiseman's different. Okay, so no appraisal yet. Just based on how much my mortgage will be, etc., etc. Also, DTI is 23%, but no word if I'm approved with the loan. Okay, so this is Wiseman, the
In escrow.
120K, 620 applying for an FHA. Already signed the contract, but it's been 3 days and nothing has happened. So what about the disclosures? Did you sign disclosures? That's the trigger. Once disclosures are pulled, most banks like our pipeline, what we do is we actually have a guy who actually watches our pipeline for us, and he helps push the loan along and says, "Hey, how come our processor hasn't picked this up? Hey, how come this isn't an underwriting? Hey, Lee, how come you haven't signed the disclosures yet?"
Wiseman, you want to get
tells on
everybody
all
on
of
their
us.
toes real fast, real fast, real fast? Wiseman, I'm going to give you a hack that's going to scare everybody and everything's going to happen real fast. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to call your loan officer like right now. Hit pause on TikTok or Instagram or wherever you're watching us. Hit pause, call your loan officer and say, "Hey, bro, I need a locked LE in my email as soon as possible, please. Can you get it with me within the next 30 minutes, please?" And the loan officer is going to go, well, why would you need that? Don't worry about it. We're working on a good deal. Bro, I have requested a locked LE in my email in the next 30 minutes. And, well, I don't know if we can really do that. You can do it. I need a locked LE in my email in the next 30 minutes. Thank you. I'm going to follow this up with an email request so you can't say this phone call never happened. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Click. Now, immediately, the loan officer is going to hang up and go, "Oh, shit." What's he thinking?
Another loan officer.
They're shopping me. There's another loan officer that's trying to beat me. And then all of a sudden, the loan officer is going to start doing their job. They're going to go,
"Yes,
oh,
sir,
you know
yes,
what?
sir,
Yeah,
yes,
pull. Hey, I can't get you the locked LE in 30 minutes, but I can probably get you by the end of the day. You okay with that?" And everybody's going to start hopping. Everybody. You know why? Because you pulled that big magic card without even knowing you pulled it of, "Hey, I'm about to take my business to Chris and Lee, who are way better than you. Way better. Way better."
And way taller.
Yeah.
There you go. Kristen Munavi, thank you for joining. Hey, you're busy, aren't you? I know the market is heating up. You guys got to be slammed right now, no doubt.
Gotta be slammed. We're getting
Adrian.
calls like crazy.
Oh, it's so busy.
It's crazy.
Adrian, FHA? You do FHA, man?
I do FHA all day. I can do
All
FHA
day?
in my sleep.
In the morning?
I can quote you guidelines.
In the noon?
0.55 MI.
In the night?
0.50 MI.
Damn.
3.5% down. 580 FICO with 3.5% down. 500 FICO still can get it done. Need 10% down. MI falls off after 11 years if you put more than 10%. UFMIP 1.75%. I can talk FHA all day.
My friend that had to do that with the home that he bought. Hoka 0018. We do have a clause. Yep, assumption clause.
All right, good for you, man. All right, good for you,
nice.
man.
He is down. We agreed to a deal right here
that's-
during this live.
Yeah, we are helping people out, man.
Puka,
We's
good
helpers.
job.
We's
I wish
helpers.
both of you the best.
Yeah,
Hope it works out for both.
Puka.
of you.
Yeah, if like I said, it's all pretty straightforward.
He is down.
Yeah, I know, right?
Michael Ezra, what is the purchase rate with a 750 FICO, low DTI, and putting 20% down? Is there a condo LLPA? Wow, is this a lender?
Yeah, I know, right? I
this a
know.
lender?
I know. What is LLPA? What do you think? I'm trying to think what the acronym is, because this is clearly a lender. It's clearly a lender. So, Michael Ezra, I believe you're a lender. I could be wrong. I'm not usually wrong, but I could be wrong. So, I would tell you that if you went to New American Funding
Pricing
website
adjustment.
right now, you would see 5.375 on an FHA, 5.375 on a VA, 5.375 on a 15-year fixed, and what's my 30-year? 5.75 on a 30-year Fannie Mae Freddie Mac. Don't believe me? You go to our profile, go to the top, go to cool stuff, today's rates, and you'll see what I'm saying. Now, Isra, I'm also telling you, this is not your offer to lend, NMLS 944254.
1066958.
That's disclosures. Yeah, this is not an offer to lend. In order for us to give you an offer to lend, we'd have to pull your credit, calculate your income, check your assets out, and we will shop your rate. We're a direct lender. We can go direct with our bank, but we can also shop the majors. I can beat Wells Fargo. I can beat a Wells Fargo loan officer with their own product. Why? Because when a customer walks into Wells Fargo, they're retail. When New American Funding walks in and they'd say, hey, we'd like to sell $100 million of your loans a month. What kind of rate can you give us? Wells Fargo says, well, New American Funding, come on in. We're going to get you a special deal. And we get a little bit better rates than even the Wells Fargo loan officer. So,
yeah. And Michael, you already know, there's a pricing adjustment on condo. There's a pricing adjustment on manufactured. We all know this. It's very common.
Well, we appreciate you, Michael. We do appreciate you. We get a lot of loan officers in here. We appreciate all of you guys.
Mutual Education, thank you for the love. Mike Larry, thank you for the love. William Holmes, what is the concept behind a second mortgage?
A concept. Ooh, this is fancy words, right? Fancy.
Conceptually speaking.
Let's work on the concept. Okay, so here's the concept. The concept is you get a house. And then you have a primary mortgage. And you do not remove that mortgage, but you put a second one on there.
Why would you do that?
Well, because you like money. You like money. Or you need money. And if you like money and you need money, and you financed this 6 years ago and you have a 3% interest rate, and you're like, hey, today's rates are not near 3%. They're 5, 6. Yeah, 5 or 6. So I don't want to get rid of this interest rate of 3%, but I do have a lot of equity, and I like money, or I need money. So let's take a second mortgage, and that's the concept.
Boom. J Mac, yeah, I figured. Man, how do I fix if I paid everything off? Yes, lates and collections paid everything off.
That doesn't help you a lot. It actually hurts you. Why does it hurt you? Okay, good question. Big Mac Jur. Here's what happens. Let's just say that, hey, I said to Verizon 4 years ago, I said, oh, Mr. Verizon, I know you say I owe you $482. I'm not giving you that $482. Verizon says, fine, we're going to report you. That was 4 years ago. And right in that day that they reported me, my score went down, then it went down, then it went down, then it went down, then it went down. And then about a year, it leveled off. And then after about 2 or 3 years, it said, hey, that was old Lee. That was 4 years ago, Lee. So it starts going back up. Starts going back up because that's 4 years ago. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm going to fix my credit. I'm so smart. I'm not going to call nobody. I'm just going to fix it. Hey, Mr. Verizon, I'd like to pay you off. They're like, weird, but okay, cool. We'll take it. Now, something that used to be 4 years old is current. And I know through your eyes, you paid it off. But for Verizon's eyes, they say, no, 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 no. There's 4 years of 90-day lates on this thing, and he solved it. But now it's current. And what happens to your score? Now, if you were working with Chris and Lee, one of us would have gotten the phone and said, hey, Big Mac Jur, here's one of the things you need to do. You say you want to pay off Verizon? I agree with you, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to call Verizon and you're going to say, hey, Mr. Verizon, I see I owe you $481 from 4 years ago. I was thinking about paying it off, but I will only do it if you send me a pay for delete letter before I write a check. They're going to go, wow, we can't do that. Sorry. Okay, have a nice day. Oh, before you go, whoa. Let me check with my manager real quick. Hey, you know what? Special deal for you today only, just today. If you give us that $481 by the end of the day, we will give you a pay for delete letter. All right? As soon as I get that pay for delete letter, I will send you the money. And then they send it to you, and then you pay it. And then they delete it like it never happened. So, 4 years ago never happened. This month never happened. None of that ever happened because we know how to deal with those credit people. The problem is, if you paid them already, and you say, hey, I was wondering if you could remove that, they'll be like, why? You paid us. What the hell am I going to remove it for? Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's stuck for life. Yeah.
Maybe there's hope, Big Mac jurors, to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Wiseman95, can I just send y'all my stuff? LOL. I live in Texas.
Yes, you can. You're better off talking to us, though.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, we get a lot. I'm not kidding. We log into our back office and we see documents coming in all the time. And we don't really address a file till all the documents are in. And the average person doesn't put the documents, all of them, in right away. What they do is they send in a couple here, a couple there, so we don't waste our time. The minute all documents are in, it says on our thing, once all your documents are uploaded, please call Chris or Lee. Why? Because now it gets moved to the front of the pile. And we go, cool, let me see if all your documents are in. Cool, I've got them all. Now it goes on our board. But if you just send the documents and you start, we will eventually get to you. But if you don't have them all, if you tell me don't pull your credit, you go in a whole different category. We got way too many things. But if you're serious, we will take you serious. We will take your phone call. We'll get moving on it right now.
Oh, man. You know what? Time
Tell
for
me.
a commercial.
Dude, if you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by calling their direct cell phone numbers that are on the screen right now. You should screenshot this because it is going to disappear. Do not call right now, because if you call right now, we will not answer because we're live. But after the live, we will call and we will help you. That's it.
That's it. That's how you end commercials?
Dude, yep.
Yep, Michael. Loan level pricing. You got it. Chicano bad boy. If you guys are in the Inland Empire, houses are still at decent prices. Relatively speaking.
It depends.
Relatively
Yeah,
speaking.
it depends. I put somebody into a house for $600,000. We called it a win. I'm like, $600,000 is a win?
Is that a decent price?
$600,000 is a win in Rialto.
Rancho Cucamonga, which is
that's
20 minutes from us.
That's
$1 million is the median price there now.
That's crazy.
1 million.
Crazy prices. Crazy
Insane
prices.
in the membrane.
Insane. in the
Jack,
membrane.
how you doing? Also referring to get off X's mortgage, currently at 5.35.
Jack, we already answered that for somebody.
Refine
Pookie.
Refine to get off mortgage.
5.35. Yeah, that's a way to do it. That's a way to do it. Actually, refine is probably the best way.
Easiest.
It's easiest. Like a lot of people are running around because they watch TikTok and Instagram. They're like, "Hey, you can assume a loan. You
I'm
can
an attorney now."
Yeah, no, you can assume a loan." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. I've actually done it." And I talked with the loan officer, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not really a loan officer. I'm just a processor in the back." And I'm like, "Okay, so how does this work?" And she's like, "Well, we have a department, and there's a lot of people trying to do this. So and I'm like, I am a loan officer. What can I do to help?" They're like, "Nothing. There's just nobody in a hurry." And I figured out the reason. Nobody's getting paid when you assume a loan. There's no loan officer getting paid. There's no processor getting paid. Nobody is getting paid. If nobody's getting paid, why the hell do they want to do it? They don't want to. It's just you who wants to.
So if they make an hourly wage, don't they want to keep making that wage?
Yeah, I know,
Just
right?
make it as long as possible. Big Mac Jur, I'll reach out to you guys. Appreciate the advice. All right, man. We look forward to hearing from you. San, is there any Monday down assistance loans? Is there Monday down assistance loans? Can you do the down payment assistance on Monday?
I've done them on Monday.
But
I have.
Tuesday?
Well, you know what's hard is Friday, because on Friday,
You're sleepy.
no, escrow leaves early.
Oh,
Escrow leaves
that's
early.
not
and
just
then-
Friday.
escrow.
It's many days.
Escrow agents come around all the
They're
time.
like,
They're
"It's
like, "Hey,
Taco Tuesday.
you
We
don't
close at
understand.
12."
You don't understand how great a service I give." I'm like, "Yeah, sure you do. Sure you do."
Can you stay after 5 p.m.? No.
No. I give great service up until about
50.
4:15. 4:15, dude.
Oh.
At 4:15, they don't close the
Man,
door, but
you're
they stop
striking
answering the
them
phone.
hard,
They stop
man.
answering the phone at 4:15.
You
They
don't like us, Regis?
They don't lock the door till 4:30. So if you're making it at 4:29 and you physically show up, they'll probably help you. But at 4:15, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I couldn't get to it."
Maybe. They're like, it takes our
Maybe.
printer 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
San said money. Is there any money down payment assistance loans?
I don't know what you mean by money, but all of the stuff we deal with is like theoretical money, but it's all paper. So like if you went to Cal Haffa and you said, "Hey, I want 3.5% down," they're not going to give you 10 grand. They're going to put 10 grand towards the escrow. You're never going to see $100 bills. That's not how life works. Yeah. So if you're asking, do they actually give you money so you can like run to Mexico as soon as you get it? No.
Why would you go to Mexico?
Because it's close.
Tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah.
Dude, if you have street tacos in Mexico,
If you have $10,000 and you want to buy tacos in Mexico,
That's a lot of tacos,
You're gonna
man.
be
You're
fooled.
happy for a while.
Yeah. Wiseman
Yeah.
said, screenshot, LOL. Smart man.
Yep.
Smart man.
Cool.
Ryan, does an FHA always have PMI, or can you put 20% down to avoid it?
Ooh, Ryan. Another loan officer, you think? I don't know.
Nah.
Nah, probably not. Ryan.
Just a good guy.
FHA, it is called MI. It's not PMI. There's a reason for that, because PMI is private mortgage insurance, which means there's a bunch of companies competing for that mortgage insurance. FHA has MI because there's nobody competing. FHA's is 0.55. 0.55, unless you put more than 5% down. If you put more than 5% down, it is 0.50. And it is for the life of the loan, unless you put more than 10% down. If you put more than 10% down, it will fall off in 11 years. Is it mandatory on FHA? Yes, all loans. If you put 80% down, you are going to get 0.50, and it will be there for 11 years.
Right. Big Mac Jur, it's a direct sell. You guys able to text too? I work a lot, so texting is easier sometimes.
Yeah, you can text us anytime, man. Yeah, text is fine. We do a lot of business via text.
I have commented before. All right, Jack.
All
Awesome.
right, I appreciate
Welcome
you,
back,
man.
my man.
Yeah, appreciate those comments. Make sure you heart us up. Give us the hearts, the hearts, the hearts.
Gelito, is now the time to refinance. I'm at a 6.624, but bought down to 5.624 till January 2026. I don't know what that means.
It sounds like you were in a 2-1 buy down, dude. It sounds like It sounds like you were in a 2-1 buy down. So, get Eto. Just by those numbers, I'd want to build your file, but I probably wouldn't refinance you till the middle of 25. I had to do some math there, because you paid a lot of money for that 2-1 buy down. If it's a 2-1 buy down or a 3-1 buy down or a 1-1 buy down, if it's any of those, you paid a lot of money for it. Like a lot of money, 10 grand. More than that. It's a 1-1 buy down. So it's a 1-1 buy down. So yeah, you paid a lot of money for it. And if it's a 1-1 buy down, there's probably $3,000 to $5,000 for that. Probably something like that. And you need to recoup that fee. So you've got a lower payment. There's going to be cost in a refinance. Always a cost in a refinance. And you need to recoup the refinance costs. Now, here's the catch. According to the Federal Reserve, currently the Fed funds rate is 5.25%. This is off the Federal Reserve website. You can go to the FOMC and see this. This is a Federal Reserve website. By the end of 26, beginning of 27, they anticipate the rate to be at 2.5%, from 5.5 to 2.5. That's 300 basis points or 3%. Now, the mortgage rates are not based straight off of the Fed funds rate. They are based off of the 10-year yield.
What's up, Stacy?
The 10-year yield and the mortgage rates have been in lockstep for about 40 years. They sometimes spike a little, but they go down, they go up together, which in English means that if the Fed is correct and we are at 2.5%, somewhere in 26 or 27, the interest rates for mortgages are going to go down over the next 2 to 3 years. Now, you paid to buy that 1-1 buy down. It is a business call. It is a business deal. It's not a, hey, I like this feeling better. No, it's mathematical. You paid, let's say, $5,000, and it saves you $300 a month. Well, how long does it take for you to make up that $5,000 at a savings of $300 a month? Somewhere in the neighborhood of a year and a half. So prior to refinancing, before a year and a half, you just wasted your money, because you're going to have to pay for that refinance at some point in the future. Now, if you deal with an unscrupulous loan officer, which you're probably dealing with the builder's loan officer in that case, because if you did a 1-1 buy down, that's usually a builder. And they're going to want to refinance you at, remember, 5.5 right now. They're going to say, hey, at 4.5, you should refinance. Why? Because they'll make $10,000 in commission. Oh, you know what? 4.0, you should refinance. Oh, 3.5, you should refinance. They're going to want to refinance you 4 or 5 times before we get to the low. But if you're dealing with Chris and Lee, We want you to refi once. We want you to do it right. Then we want you to buy down then. I don't recommend 2-1 buy downs rarely. Rarely. I don't recommend 1-1 buy downs rarely. There's an occasional situation, but rarely. And I recommend you refinance one time all the way down here. That being said, I will take your refinance if you want to do it to save $300 a month. So, is it a good idea to do right now? Probably not. But if you're going to have a loan officer do it, have the best do it. We'll do it.
Yeah, Czar Voodoo. If you're married, can you apply for a home just by yourself? A loan just by yourself.
Czar Voodoo. I don't know if that's conducive to a good marriage. You're like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm going to buy a house, but you're not included. No.
A lot of people
honey,
do it, man. What are you
honey,
talking about?
I love you, but I'm not going to buy a house with you.
Why not?
And I'm not going to own it with you.
Why not?
And I'm not going to get the debt with you.
Why not?
And I'm not going to do any of that with you,
But
honey.
why not?
I'm not going to do any of it with you, honey. I'm not going to do any of it with you.
What do you call that?
Recipe for divorce?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. No, the answer is yes, you can do it by yourself, depending on the state you live in. That is a big determining factor, because there are certain states that are community property states, like California and Texas are both community property states.
Boo!
Which means, can I do it all by myself? Yes, I can, but I do have to count my spouse's liabilities against my income. And I have to have my spouse sign a what's it called?
I forget.
Spouse non-interest disclosure, which means your spouse says, yes, I know my husband is buying a house and not putting me on it. He's not doing it behind my back. Why? Because here's my driver's license and here's my signature. So can you do it? Yeah, we do it often. The reason we do it is most of the time one of the spouses is a breadwinner. So let's just say the husband's a breadwinner and he's a construction man and he makes $150,000 a year, and the wife is a stay-at-home mom and she's raising 2 kids and she's doing a wonderful job. Well, she doesn't add anything to the loan at all, nothing. If it's a non-community property state, let's say she has a car payment, I don't have to count that car payment against the construction guy. He just does it by himself. If it is a community property state, then I do have to count the car payment against him and move forward. But let's say she has a car payment and she missed the payment and her FICO is 540. But you, construction guy, your FICO score is 780. Well, if I put both of you guys on the loan, I've got to use the lower FICO. But if I don't put her on the loan, 780 loan, whole different loan. So there's a lot of reasons, but yes.
Yeah, and what was the person name? Zarwadu. What state are you in? I'll let you know what's up right now. Nate Chenille. What's the max loan amount for an FHA in Florida?
Depends,
I'll find
Nate. It depends. So every loan limit is based off of county. I used to live in Dade County and Broward County. In those 2 counties, we are at the top of the loan limit, which is probably $1 million. If you go to a lower county, then it's not going to be
Lower county?
lower.
What are you saying right now?
A lower county.
A low-class county?
You go to a low-class county? If you go to a FHA lower high limit county, it'll probably be in the 500s or 400s, somewhere in that range. But there's some counties where it's $1 million.
Yep. Nate, what county are you in? I'll find it for you.
Yep.
Gelato. It's a 1-1 buy down. I think you already answered
Yeah, I
that one.
did that, yeah.
AM Rentals. Thank you for the love.
We
Rad
appreciate
Rat.
you.
Rad Rat says, what's a 1-1 buy down?
Rad rat. Okay, so let's say that I qualified for your loan right now, and you're qualified, and let's just say I got you at 6.5%. Okay, 6.5% for 30 years, and you're like, I don't like 6.5%. And you say, okay, I'll tell you what. Do you like 5.5? You're like, I do like 5.5. I'm not gonna lie. If my choices are 6.5 and 5.5, I will take that 5.5. All right, cool.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we lost sound. Working on it. You can't hear me. Working on it. We got the sound back. We're answering what is a 1-1 buy down. So on a 1-1 buy down, if I qualified you right now at 6.5%, and you're like, I don't really like that 6.5%. I'm not feeling it. And I said, okay, cool. Do you like 5.5? Like, I'll be perfectly honest. If I had the choice between 6.5 and 5.5, I'm going to have to go with 5.5. All right, cool. Let's do that. In order to get that 5.5% rate, we're going to have to buy it down. Wait a minute. That's a big buy down. How much is that? Well, it's $20,000. Wait a minute. I don't have $20,000. I don't have $20,000. Well, how about this? I'll give you 5.5 for the first year. That way you can get your feet underneath you, and then it goes back up to 6.5. That's only cost you $5,000. You're like, weird, but okay, fine, $5,000. All right, cool. So I bought the rate down for 1 year, and there's one step. That's a 1-1 buy down. 1-1 buy down. I bought it for 1 year, and there's one step. A 3-1 buy down?
He didn't ask that.
He said what's a 1-1 buy down?
You just said 3 year.
Okay. Well, 3 years, 3 steps. So instead of 6.5 to 5.5, we would have gone all the way down to 4.5. Then
You
5.5.
ask this guy
then
what's a
5.5.
cake, he'll teach you how to bake it, man.
Dude, you like cakes?
I love cake.
Yeah, me too.
You're right, we got a rapid fire, man. Rapid
Dude,
fire.
I don't want a rapid fire.
Yeah, no, you don't. You're like, words.
I love to hear myself talk.
M. Nunez. Or just Nunez. 0739. My wife and I have a 6.
Where'd you get Ed from?
Just like M.
Oh, I thought you said. Okay, got it.
M
Got it.
there.
I got it.
Nunez 0739. My wife and I have a 690 to 710 credit score with 120K a year. We're interested to buy a home.
Congratulations. We would like to help you.
Shah, how much is it to refinance?
Depends on the type of refinance and the type of loan. If you have a VAIRRRL, it's very cheap, probably $2,000 or less. If you have an FHA Streamline, probably $2,000 or less. If you have a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, could get quite pricey, like $3,000. That's pricey. But there's some weird things that happen inside of that, like an impound account, which means you're gonna go, hey, how much does this loan cost me? I'm gonna get $3,000. Well, how come my closing costs are $8,000? Oh, don't worry about it. You get $5,000 back from the other loan. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. The net amount's probably $3,000.
Yep. Amanda Lopez says the seller pays for it and you can transfer the funds to pay towards principal if you refi. Talking
Okay.
about the 2131 buy
Yeah,
down.
2-1-3-1 buy down, yeah.
Rad Rat, you're in good shape. Told N. Nunez. Yeah, Nunez is in good shape. Absolutely. That's a good file.
Yep.
AM Rentals. How do you get debt to income ratio when you have zero debt? Because you're buying a house. That's the debt.
Yeah, well, there's front end, back end ratio. Front end is PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Anything that has to do with the house. If you have homeowners insurance, HOA, anything in there is built into that. So that's your front end. Then your back end is PITI plus revolving debt. So that's your front end, back end ratio. So when you put the house in there, it's a debt, and we count that against your income. Sometimes there's people with no debt, and it's just 45-45. Most people are like 35-45, 45-55. But if you have no debt, then it's straight across the board, 45-45, 35-35, 24-24, whatever.
And the Dreamers are like 135-185. Rad Rat, the buy down is held on the separate account to subsidize the lower payment. Yep. Nunez, can you help us get started?
Sure, give us a call. We'll get you going right now. Hey, we're about to finish here in maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. We got a lot of questions. We get to as many as we can. We get to rapid fire. But yes, we will help you. If you're serious about buying like right now, talk with us. We get a lot of applications online. We got a lot of people from across the country. We got a very big Instagram presence, TikTok presence, Facebook presence, YouTube presence. All of that's there. And if you want to help us, conversation, we want to help you.
Rad Rat, and they refunded the principal balance if you refinance before it ends. Correct. Shay, how much is it to refinance?
We covered that.
LOL. Yeah, my spouse does know.
Okay,
Good.
that's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
see,
cool.
it's a good relationship.
Yeah.
JG Thing. What are the benefits of paying off the house?
You don't have no more payment.
What?
Yeah, it's a good, pretty good benefit.
What's the benefit of ice cream? Having ice cream?
There you go. Yeah.
Rad Rat, G Thang, no house payment. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the answer.
yeah, good, yeah.
Zarwardu, that's what I was wondering. I'm in Arizona.
All right, good deal. Arizona, love Arizona.
Yeah, we got a couple in Arizona right
Yeah.
now. Khalid El Mahdi.
Karen Dazal's killing it, huh? In Arizona, Karen
yeah.
Dazal kills it. Who's the big realtor we're working with?
Julie Moon.
Julie Moon, player, like player, like player. And we're like, hey, I think we know Julie Moon, right? Boom, right there. I think I actually met her at the top producer conference.
Virginia, make $145,000. Any down payment assistance. Wife, no job, no income. That's a good income.
That sounds like you're dissing your wife, though. She's like, my wife, she ain't got no job. She ain't got no income.
She don't even make meatloaf.
She don't make meatloaf. If she does, I can't eat it. So, yes, there are down payment assistance programs. Most of them cap. Most of them cap. What does that mean? Well, if you're in Los Angeles and you make over $188,000, you no longer qualify for down payment assistance programs for most programs. There's one that I can think of. But if you're in a different part of the state or a different part of the country, I've seen caps at 88 grand. So certain parts of Arkansas capped at 88 grand. So there are programs, but you might be in that category because you make too much money. We'd have to know what county and build your file. We say,
But our in-house doesn't have a cap.
good point.
Yeah, we have an in-house down payment assistance
For
does
all
not
50
have an
states.
income cap.
You know which states we work in? All 50. You know how many there are?
Yes.
All 50.
My wife and I, okay, this is a good file. 120K a year, 690, 710 credit score, first home, 20K down. They just sweeten their deals.
Nunes, we're gonna get you
Your
a
gold.
bang up deal. We'll also make sure you get the realtor that takes the market by the horns and gives you the best deal possible.
Ammo rentals. I have no debt using VA loan.
That's great. If you're using it, first off, respect. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your
Appreciate-
service.
Yeah, appreciate you very much. I'm a veteran. My dad's a veteran. My son's active duty Navy Special Forces. Super proud. But yes, we help veterans all the time. We specialize in VA loans. We're doing a lot of VA loans. So yes, we'd love to help you. Ammo rentals.
The brew. How much does a HELOC cost?
How do you rent ammo though? Dude, I want to
Ammo
rent
is
this.
2 M's.
Oh, okay, got it.
I
I
guess
was gonna be like,
you're
I'm
done
like,
shooting it, you give it
yeah,
back?
you give it back. I think that's, yeah, you call that your brass, and you're like, hey, I was done with these. Thank you for the rental.
How much does a HELOC cost?
Depends on your credit score and your overall profile. They're very popular right now. Yeah.
Easy number, probably back around. Lovely world. Do you offer lower rates than major banks? How does a pre-approval process take? How long does a pre-approval process take?
Lovely world. The answer is yes, and we actually sell the major banks loans. In other words, I do Wells Fargo. I can do a Wells Fargo loan right now today. You're like, hey, I don't like New American Funding because I've never heard of you. Cool. I'll ship it over to Wells Fargo. You good with Wells Fargo? You've heard of them? Yep, cool. Here's the rate at Wells Fargo. Usually New American Funding beats everybody. Everybody. But right now, there's this weird little bank called AmeriHome. Is that who it is? Mm-hmm. AmeriHome is smoking everybody. The rate, because when I price it, I get a whole bunch of lenders. I get AmeriHome, I get New American Funding, I get Wells Fargo, I get Freedom, I get a whole bunch of different lenders. And when I do all that, I'm like, okay, who's the best of all of them? And usually our direct line is better, but right now, AmeriHome is beating everybody. So when I call the client, I'm like, hey, listen, I can lock you with New American Funding, and here's your rate, but I can get you a little bit better with AmeriHome. What's the difference? The difference is New American Funding won't service it. AmeriHome will. Other than that, what would you do? What's the difference? I say, not really a whole lot. What would you do, Lee? I say, I go with AmeriHome because it's better. It's better. So the point of that is we compete against all the banks with their own lines, and we can usually beat everybody.
Yeah, and Lovely Home, if you got us all the data today, we probably can get you an answer today. But if not, if you got it late tonight, we'll get you an answer tomorrow. That fast. Gelato! It looks like Amore Rentals. Oh, they rent love. Amore.
Dude, we can take that so many different places.
Yeah.
I
Stacey
love that
H.
house. I love that house.
Stacey H. I can't decide if I want to remodel or buy. Oh, $50K worth $225 with a 3.5 interest rate right now.
Stacy, you should just sit back, crack a beer, and go 3.5. I don't know what y'all are doing, but I got 3.5. I'm going to drink my beer. That's
Matt
what I would
Rogers, I'm 25 and a half, 50K in the bank, trying to buy $450K house. What should I do?
do. Get an income, Matt. Get an income. We don't know what your income is, Matt. Maybe it's in there, but so far, I don't know what your income is because it doesn't matter how much you have in the bank. All that matters is how much money do you make.
All right, dude, sign us out.
You know what? I appreciate you guys. We are here for
60K.
you.
There it is. He slid in.
60K income, 60K, dude. All right, 60K. I'm gonna do here.
50K down. He's
50K
25.
down. Probably
6'2".
320 to 400, depending on what city and state you live in. So 320,000 to 400,000. Could be more, could be less. If you're a veteran, definitely more. We've been Chris and Lee. We are out.